Hello there and welcome to the channel. I'm Nosy Beaver, and as the summer of 2023 nears its end, the Barbie movie drops, and with it comes a ton of revenue and controversy. Today, I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on the movie, what I liked, disliked, and my overall thoughts, so let's dive into it. Starting off with what I liked about the film, I enjoyed the Barbie world itself and the rivalries between each of the Kens, which were so childish that I actually found it quite amusing. And Ryan Gosling stood out especially from the rest, most often actually being the funny jokes involved. They either involved him in some way doing something funny, or him saying something funny, and I enjoyed it to quite an extent. But something I did not expect from this film was the amount of heart and emotion throughout the entire film. Being a movie about girls' toys, and me being a male myself, I obviously knew that I was not the target demographic for this film. And so, the message that it gave did not really apply to me, but that didn't stop me from seeing the message itself. So I understood it, I respected it, but I don't really relate to it. But, other than that, it was pretty great. The casting, obviously, Margot Robbie was perfect for the role of Barbie, and Ryan Gosling was the perfect Ken. I loved him. Others like Simu Liu as Ken and America Ferrera were also great, but Ken and Barbie were the standouts for sure. Something I found funny was how silly the movie was. Like there were Kens trying to win over Barbie by doing a backflip. That's a kind of major part of the story. And near the end of the film, there's a battle going on, and Ryan Gosling's Ken sings a whole song while he's fighting, and it then cuts to a choreographed dance with all the Kens, which I just found hilarious and just plain fun. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on to stuff that I didn't enjoy as much about the film. And by the way, there will be spoilers coming up now in case you haven't seen the movie. So stop now, go watch it, then come back. Okay, you're gone? So my major dislike about the film is how they made men kind of just look terrible and addressed gender inequality while not really doing anything to change it. For example, in the Barbie world, the roles are basically swapped where the women have all the power and the Kens don't. This is a major part of the story because when Ryan Gosling's Ken visits the real world, he realizes that men have the power and are respected here, and he just wants to be respected by the Barbies. For example, he loses his mind when a woman just asks him what time it is, because no Barbie has ever seen him as an actual equal, so why would they ask him for anything? This newfound respect Ken finds causes him to go back to the Barbie world, and he explains the patriarchy to the town, which somehow hypnotizes the Barbies or something. I don't know. The movie does a pretty bad job at explaining all that, but anyways, the Kens take over them, and Margot Robbie's Barbie has to save the day, and the unbrainwash all the Barbies by telling them the struggles of being a woman. But in the beginning of the movie, all the Barbies say everything is always perfect to them, so how would they know the struggles of being a woman if they've never struggled once in their lives? I don't think it matters because, you don't need that kind of stuff in a movie. And so anyways, they create a plan to unbrainwash the Barbies by acting like they're still brainwashed to lure the Kens away so they can unbrainwash more Barbies. Also, the movie never explains how the Barbies were brainwashed in the first place, like if the Kens knew they were brainwashing them. But I don't truly know how evil the Kens are or how guilty, but yeah. Then once all the Barbies are freed, they sort of make jabs at men doing stuff like they're playing a guitar or helping with sports or explaining movies. They treat all that stuff like toxic behaviors. And I'm not saying that they can't be, but usually they're not. Like, that's like saying a girl asking a guy to go to the mall with them is toxic. It's just what they want to do. It's what they enjoy. And the girls pit the Kens against each other by, dating them and then leaving them for another Ken. And that's when this massive Ken's fight scene goes on, which is pretty fun. And it ends with the Barbies having all the power again. There's a line in the movie that says if the Kens work hard enough, they might have as much power as the women do in the real world, which is which was a jab at some unfair gender stuff in the real world. But this kind of takes away from the whole message of gender equality because it just makes the Barbies look like the men in the real world while it's trying to say that men are evil, but these Barbies never struggled once in their lives until now, where they gotta feel like the actual men, the women. But the Kens always felt like the women because they were never valued, and yet it ends with the Kens not being valued, so it shows that the gender equality is that men and women should be equal. That's what people should want. But this movie, it reverses the standards of now, but the women never try to address it and try to fix it. If anything, the gender inequality is greater in the film itself than it is in real life, as oftentimes they don't even let a Ken on the Senate or council, whatever, and they said if they work hard enough, they'll have as much power. I know I'm reading into that a lot, but it is kind of annoying that it makes Barbie Land actually look more unequal or whatever than the real world, which the real world does need fixing, but you're not going to fix it by just making it look like women would make it just like men did. Now, that's just like a nitpick, but I think it kind of does go to ruin the whole message. Also, there's Will Ferrell's in the movie. He's kind of useless. He's just like the guy who works as CEO of Mattel, and he's very stupid in the movie. There's a scene where he runs into Barbie. He's trying to capture her, and he just runs into her and just freaks out and runs away. And he's like, damn it, I've missed him. And he does like girls, but he doesn't understand them. And other than that, there is a mother-daughter plot, which is the heart of the story, and being human, which obviously I can't resonate with that. So overall, my thoughts of the film were that it was good. I liked it. I liked the fun. It was fun and goofy, but its message was kind of fell a bit in the way they delivered it. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8.1 out of 10, So yeah, that's about it. Peace.